Good evening, everyone. On the menu tonight is one of my all-time favorite meals, linguini and mussels. Now, mussels, you'll see in a lot of Italian restaurants as an appetizer. They come in like marinara sauce, or you could get it in like some white wine sauce. But what we do here is we're going to combine the mussels with the linguini. It'll be like a seafood dish. So this will be the basic recipe, but you could actually add other seafood to it. You could add scallops, you could add shrimp, some other types of fish, and get a really nice seafood dish going. But for tonight, we're just going to do the standard linguini and mussels. So let me go through all the ingredients. We have the linguini here. I have the stuff from Wegmans. You could also, get the stuff from the box. That works just as well too. The only thing with this one, it doesn't need as much time to cook. I think it's only 3 minutes. This is in the water before it's done.
Wow, that's fast.
I got the mussels from Wegmans. You could buy them, in a 1 or 2 pound bag. So you just, if you have if your supermarket has the locally fresh seafood, that's where you're going to want to get these. I've also used the frozen ones in the past, but if you have the fresh ones, that's really the way to go. A red onion, 8 cloves of garlic, thyme. I'm using basil again because if you watch the other videos, we're growing it out in the back. So we're going to use that as a topping, or you could use Italian parsley. We have whole tomatoes, tomato paste, capers, crushed red pepper, salt, pepper, some Moscato wine. You see how much Crystal drank?
Hey.
And some olive oil. So that's the recipe for tonight. So we hope you'll join us, and let's get started. All right, the first thing we'll do is the prep work. We're going to cut up the ingredients, but there's only like a few ingredients to cut up, so this will go really quick. There's like 8 cloves here. There's a lot of garlic in this recipe. That's one of the good things about that if you like garlic. Cut the ends off. Just peel. And then we'll mince it up. Okay, the garlic's all cut up. It's a lot of garlic.
Oh yeah.
But it works very well in there with the mussels.
Good thing we're only kissing each other.
Okay, now the onion, we have the red onion. It's kind of big, so I'm only going to use about half of it. So we'll cut that, and we'll put that in a bag and refrigerate it for later use. And we'll just use this one. That should work. Okay, now the basil. I'll cut the stems off there. And we'll just chop this up so we can sprinkle it on at the end. And to make this dish, you're going to need 1 pot and 1 fry pan. The fry pan is going to be sort of like a heavy-duty skillet, and if you have one with a top, that's what you're going to need for this, because we're going to cook the sauce, the tomato sauce for the linguini, and once that's cooking, we're going to steam the mussels right in the sauce. And to steam them, you're going to need that top. And then any standard pot will do for the linguini. We'll turn this on medium-high. Put a couple tablespoons of olive oil in. Let that heat up, and then we'll put the garlic and onion in. We'll put the garlic, all that garlic, and the red onion in. We won't put the thyme in yet. We're going to put a little red pepper in because we're going to want to have like a little bite to it. So if you like it real spicy, go ahead and put a lot, but this is maybe about half a teaspoon that we're going to put in, not too much. And now the gentle sizzle starts. And whenever you're cooking like especially the garlic and the olive oil, you don't want it on high heat because if you burn the garlic, it just really overpowers the dish. It's just starting to fry, nice and gentle. Put a little water in, maybe about almost a gallon. A little salt, and we'll just put that on. Put that on high. We want to have this nice and heated so when we're ready to put the linguine in, because we're going to time the linguine sort of like when the sauce is going to be done. You see, the onions and garlic are just about ready to have the tomatoes put in. So we want to have the water all heated so we can just put it in and cook it. Okay, this has been cooking about maybe 3 or 4 minutes. We're going to put the whole can of tomatoes in. Now we're going to take a potato masher and just gently,
Oh, wow.
you want to go and crush it. If you do it too hard, and this happens to me all the time, the tomato squirts. And you get like tomato juice and seeds on your shirt, on the floor, and you got to clean it up. So just do it nice and slow. And you know, the reason I do this and not get the crushed tomatoes are just too crushed. I like to have like some chunks of the tomato in there. And when you do it this way, you could really then control how thick the chunks of the tomato are. And if you don't have a masher, you could use a spoon. That would work too. Just take a little longer. Okay, so we have the tomatoes in, and the next thing we're going to put in, I have the capers and the thyme. The capers won't go in yet, but we're going to put just a whole sprigs of thyme in there. The sauce is simmering. You see a very gentle simmer there with the bubbling. And we want this maybe for about 15 minutes. So, so this is doing good, and now we have the water here and it's already boiling. So that's good, but we're not quite ready for it. But if we wanted to put the pasta in, we could. So what I do is I put that on low now. That'll turn it back down, reduce that. Then as soon as the sauce is ready, I'll turn it on high again and we'll be ready to go within a minute.
Okay.
Okay, now the wine we're going to add in 2 phases. I just put the tomatoes in and crushed them up. And we'll put half a cup of wine in. And then we're going to thicken it up just a bit with the tomato paste. Now in the recipe I'm putting about 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, and we'll do that, but you're going to have to play it by ear because depending on the tomatoes and how they pack them, if it's really watery, you're going to have to put in a little extra paste. But 1 tablespoon should be enough, so I'll put that in and see how it works, especially the tomatoes in thick puree. You won't need much with that. And with this one, I think I'm going to put 1 more spoon of tomato paste in. Okay, now I'm going to turn it from medium down to medium low. I'm going to put some salt and pepper in. Okay, I'm going to prepare the mussels now because we're going to put them in the pot. When you buy the mussels from the store, if you buy the fresh ones, it's very important. Like when I bought these today at Wegmans, they had an ice bin right next to it, and I put the ice in a bag. I put the mussels in the bag over the ice, and then I put ice
on top?
Yeah, on top of that, and sealed it up, brought it home, put it right in the fridge. You want to keep it on ice until you're going to use it. And then, even though they're washed, I'm going to wash them again. So I'll open them up, put them in here, wash them, show you what to look for. If you have the frozen ones, I mean, it's easy because they're already cleaned, cooked, and I think they're also on the half shell when they're frozen. Okay, so we're just going to rinse them off. And Wegmans, you know, cleans them pretty good, but you want to make sure they're still closed. And they even cleaned them. Sometimes what you have to look for is there's like this little beard on the side there, you just have to take that and pull it off.
Did you just call something a beard?
Yeah, the mussels, they have this little like hairy clump. They call it a beard, and you just have to take it and pull it off.
Oh no, I'm glad I didn't see that.
But they did that for us. The capers, I took like a teaspoon or a tablespoon out, and we're just gonna put those in now. Put them in. Let me stir it up a bit. And we're gonna put the mussels on and steam the mussels right in the sauce. Yeah, that's sort of like my own invention too. I'm sure other people do it. I haven't read a recipe with it, but I like doing it because the juice from the mussels go right in the sauce. It gives it a nice flavor.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Put the mussels in. And the last thing we're going to do is the other half cup of wine. We're going to put that in now, right over the mussels. Put the top on. And remember, we had this on low. We're going to raise it up now from medium low to medium. We're going to let them steam.
Excellent. Wow.
And once they're steamed, we'll take them out. Put this back on high because remember we turned it on low, so it'll boil again within a minute. Okay, it's been cooking about 3 minutes, and you can see them starting to open now. So we'll let them cook a couple more minutes to make sure they're all open, all fully cooked. Then we're going to take them out, finish up the sauce, put the linguine in, and we're home. And let's take this off. You see how it's open like that and that's fully cooked? So now I'll just take them and put them in a bowl. Okay, the mussels are done. I'll put them on the counter and put some foil over to keep them warm. Okay, turn this back down to low. Stir it up, and now we have the mussel juice that mixed in with it. So this really, at this point, has a nice flavor. And I turn this back up on high. So we'll put the linguine in, and once that's done, we're ready to put it all together. Okay, now what I do at this point, after I turn this on low, just take a spoon. Cool it off, taste it, and then you could determine if you want some more seasoning. I'm just going to put a little more salt, and that should be good. And you could determine, you know, how much stuff you want to put in. If you wanted it a little more spicier, at this point you could put some more crushed red pepper, some more black pepper, and you could adjust the salt at this point. I don't like putting a lot of salt in at first because if you put too much in, I mean, you're done. You really can't take it out once it's in. So you put a little in at first, and then you adjust at the end. So that's adjusted. We turned it on high, and see how fast it started to boil? So let's take this off. We have the linguine. And again, this is the fresh stuff from Wegmans. They do everything good there. What a store. We'll just drop that in. That's going to cook really fast. Okay, you see how that's starting to foam up? And if you don't watch it, it's going to foam over. So at this point, you want to turn it down to medium low. Okay, the pasta's done and the sauce is done. So I'm going to prepare. I'm going to take those sprigs of thyme out. All right, the pasta. Put in the colander and drain. And what I like to do is splash a little olive oil on that. Put it right in. Okay, now it's time to put everything together. Linguine. Sometimes people take the mussels and they mix them right in the fry pan with the linguine and the sauce. And that's good, and you mix it all up and put it on the plate. or other times, you know, you make a nice design, and I kind of like that. You know, I kind of like patterns. So take a little sauce, put some more on there. And take some of our fresh basil or parsley, whichever one you have. Sprinkle that on. And then you have your linguini and mussels.
Yummy. That looks really neat.
Yeah, and this is your dish.
Ah, this is mine.
Yep.
Woohoo!